The French government are once again restricting the rights of Muslim women, this time banning abayas in state schools. A rule that, as much as the French government want you to try and believe otherwise, purely and specifically targets Muslim girls. Where are the human rights groups? Where are the feminists? Usually schools ask girls to cover themselves up, not the other way around. An abaya, strictly speaking, isn't even a religious item of clothing. It's simply a loose-fitting dress worn by women historically. In many cultures and countries, and today it's mostly worn by Arabs or Muslim women as an easy way of attaining modesty within the rules of their religion. And this ban is already having a negative effect on Muslim girls in France. Many girls see the abaya as a form of identity, as something that they want to wear, something that's a part of their expression, a part of their right to expression. And they're having difficulty choosing between freedom of expression and their right to wear what they want to wear versus their need to get an education in a country that's becoming increasingly Islamophobic, increasingly racist. It's not me saying that, that's how Muslim women in France feel. That's why they're speaking to news outlets, telling them that they feel discriminated and isolated, that it's discrimination and Islamophobia in the guise of secularism. Why is France actually doing this? As far as I can tell, there's two reasons why the president has decided to impose such a controversial measure. The first one is the main reason that any politician does anything, and it's to win votes. The far-right group in France, led by Marine Le Pen, apologies if I mispronounced that, are fairly popular there, and they have open stances of Islamophobia, and they've been calling for a long time for bans of religious items of clothing on Muslims such as abayas and hijabs, and they welcomed this latest move from President Macron. And it's likely that Macron wanted to win some votes from the far-right group's supporters. And the second reason is that secularism, which is the need to separate state from religion, is so embedded in French culture, and they've been progressing with this throughout the past 2 decades, with ban on hijabs and ban on burkinis and now this ban on abayas. They don't want to see any semblance of religion in their day-to-day lives, and unfortunately the groups of people that are affected the most by this are those that display symbols of their religion, such as Muslims, mainly Muslims. It's a shame that these rules that are made in the name of secularism embolden those that are racist in France, embolden those that are Islamophobic, give them a platform, give them confidence to speak out against Muslims, to openly show behaviours against Muslims, to turn them away, to discriminate against them. There's also the case that it's quite difficult to enforce such an abaya ban. I mean, how do you tell the difference between an abaya and just a long dress? There is very little difference. Some cynical people say that it just depends on the colour of the girl's skin. If they're white, that's fine, you can wear what you want, it's just a long dress in that case. But if you're not white, if you're brown, if you're black, that could be an abaya. If that's the case, then France really has slipped into complete racism. And again, where is the global reaction? Oh wait, I know. It's because this time it's not a Muslim government dictating women's choices. France are a supposedly progressive, modern country, not some backwards war zone in the Middle East. Let's just call it for what it is. The West doesn't care because it's being done in the West, against Muslims who are increasingly being discriminated against in Europe. It's hypocrisy at its finest. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for the Muslim girls and their families who are suffering because of these new rules in France. And may Allah reward their suffering and their struggle. I'll be keeping you in my prayers. Assalamu alaikum.